For example, a heterosexual male would hang out with male friends, leaving the child absent of any stimuli to be attracted to. By puberty onwards, the child has reached the genital phase. From there, the child now peaks into adulthood as they experiment, discover, and act. They can sexually mature using their ego to make the right decisions for themselves and society. The id and superego fully manifest for the now young adult to take control of. We all start to test the limits of society with our love and are able to choose for ourselves instead of depending on our parents and other authority figures. We can fully manifest as human beings to satisfy the unconscious id, while still following our superego in making the objectively right decision, at least attempting to. According to Freud, we start realizing the relationships we have with each other correlates between our sexual desires and the impact of love we give to society and its members. As he puts it, it's like hedgehogs in the wintertime. They must be close for warmth, but not too close or else they get hurt and pricked. The Oedipus complex demonstrates this principle of love as we desire our parent, but acknowledge the fact that that is socially unacceptable, only giving the amount of affection that we can. Thus, we can't mix love and lust, and there isn't a simple solution for it all. We can't rationalize the id or change society to satisfy the superego. The best we can do, according to Freud, is to just acknowledge it and accept it. Freud made his life dedicated to picking apart our lifestyles in an attempt to understand the confusion and crisis of our lives. He believed that our socially dark and toxic behavior could be changed into something much more productive, and we're able to be more ethical and fruitful in our choices. We can truly be rational because of the irrational feelings individuals and society impose on us. However, we're able to cope with the dark and turn it into light, and with his philosophy, can now prosper in the chaos of life.
From the Bible to the popular song, there's one theme that we find right along. Of all ideals they hail as good, the most sublime is motherhood. There was a man, though, who it seems once carried this ideal to extremes. He loved his mother and she loved him, and yet his story is rather grim. Once lived a man named Oedipus Rex. You may have heard about his odd complex. His name appears in Freud's index 'cause he loved his mother. His rivals used to say quite a bit that as a monarch he was most unfit, but still in all they had to admit that he loved his mother. Yes, he loved his mother like no other. His daughter was his sister and his son was his brother. One thing on which you can depend is he sure knew who a boy's best friend is. When he found what he had done, he tore his eyes out one by one. A tragic end to a loyal son who loved his mother. So be sweet and kind to mother now and then, have a chat. Buy her candy or some flowers or a brand new hat. But maybe you had better let it go at that, or you may find yourself with a quite complex and you may end up like Oedipus. I'd rather marry a duck-billed platypus than end up like Oedipus Rex.
Sigmund Freud was definitely